Amazon looks like one of the world's biggest retailers. But here's the strange part. Retail may not be the real business. Amazon uses retail to attract customers. Customers attract sellers. Sellers create more selection. More selection improves the customer experience. And that experience brings even more customers back. In other words, Amazon didn't just build a store, it built a machine. And once you understand that machine, you'll see why Amazon became so difficult to compete with. Number 1, the retail paradox. For most people, Amazon is simple. You browse, you click, a package arrives at your door. But behind that simple experience is a massive retail operation. In 2025, Amazon generated around $588 billion in retail revenue. That sounds enormous, but here's the paradox. The operating margins on those hundreds of billions of dollars in retail sales are extremely thin. So, if Amazon's retail business is generating enormous revenue, but relatively thin margins, where does the real economic power come from? Look beyond the store. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, generated more than $45 billion in operating profit in a single year. AWS represents a much smaller share of Amazon's total revenue than retail. Yet, it produces dramatically higher margins. And this tells us something important. Amazon is not simply a retailer. Retail is one part of a much larger business system. The retail operation creates massive volume, traffic, and customer relationships. And those assets help feed other parts of the business. That is the first lesson. Don't look at a company by asking only, what does it sell? Ask, what system does the company build around what it sells? Number 2, the Amazon Flywheel. This strategy goes back to one of Amazon's most important ideas, the flywheel. A flywheel is a self-reinforcing system. One improvement creates another improvement, and that improvement makes the original improvement even stronger. For Amazon, the basic loop looks like this. Lower prices create more customer traffic. More traffic attracts more sellers. More sellers create more product selection. More selection improves the customer experience, and a better customer experience brings more customers. Then the cycle repeats, faster and faster. The important idea is not any individual part. The important idea is the relationship between the parts. Amazon doesn't need every business unit to maximize profit independently. It can use one part of the system to strengthen another. That changes the question from how much profit does this business make today to how much stronger does this business make the entire system tomorrow? And that is a very different way to build a company. Number 3, Prime, turning customers into habit. Now let's look at Amazon Prime. Most people think Prime is simply a subscription for faster shipping and additional benefits. But strategically, Prime does something much more important. It changes customer behavior. A customer pays an upfront annual fee. Once that commitment is made, the customer has a reason to use Amazon more frequently in order to justify the subscription. Amazon becomes the default destination. Instead of asking, where should I buy this? The customer increasingly starts with, let me check Amazon. That behavioral shift is incredibly valuable because Amazon isn't just acquiring a customer, it is increasing the probability that the customer will return again and again. And that recurring traffic becomes extremely valuable to sellers. Which brings us to the next part of the machine. Number 4. Customers attract sellers. Amazon doesn't need to manufacture every product that appears on its platform. Third-party sellers provide enormous amounts of product selection, because that's where the customers are. A seller wants access to demand, and Amazon has concentrated millions of active buyers on one platform, so sellers have a strong incentive to list their products there. This creates another loop. More customers attract more sellers. More sellers create more products. More products make Amazon more useful. And a more useful Amazon attracts even more customers. Now Amazon can monetize the ecosystem through multiple revenue streams: referral fees, fulfillment fees, advertising, other seller services. The seller carries much of the inventory and operational risk. Amazon increasingly provides the infrastructure around the transaction. This is why Amazon can begin to look less like a traditional retailer and more like a toll road for commerce. The company doesn't need to make money only when it owns the product. It can make money when businesses use the system. Number 5, the cash flow engine. But there is another piece of the Amazon machine that is easy to miss: cash flow. Think about a traditional retailer. The retailer buys inventory first, then it waits. Weeks or months later, customers buy the products, so the retailer needs working capital to fund the gap. Amazon engineered a very different model. The customer pays Amazon when they click buy, but Amazon can take considerably longer to pay its suppliers. The source describes an average supplier payment period of around 111 days. That creates what is known as a negative cash conversion cycle. In simple terms, Amazon can receive cash before it has to pay all of its suppliers. That creates a huge pool of operating capital, and Amazon can reinvest that capital into the business. Warehouses, automation, technology, infrastructure, robotics. The result? Today's scale can help create tomorrow's cost advantage. Amazon has deployed more than 1 million proprietary robots globally, with systems such as Sequoia and Sparrow helping automate picking and sorting. So the machine becomes stronger. More scale creates more cash flow. More cash flow funds more infrastructure. More infrastructure improves efficiency. Better efficiency supports lower prices and faster delivery. And that creates more customer demand. The flywheel spins again. Number 6, turning internal capability into a new business. Then something even more interesting happened. AWS. AWS began from a very different problem. Amazon needed to solve its own technology and infrastructure challenges. Instead of treating that capability as merely an internal cost, Amazon turned it into a product. Internal capability became infrastructure. Infrastructure became a standalone business, and that business became AWS. Now Amazon had something very different from retail: high margin revenue, recurring revenue, and significant customer switching costs. Once an enterprise builds important parts of its technology stack on a cloud platform, moving away is not always simple. So Amazon effectively transformed an internal capability into a high-value external business. This creates another important lesson for entrepreneurs. Your next product may already be hiding inside a problem your company has learned to solve better than anyone else. Don't only ask, what product should we launch? Ask, what capability have we already built that other people would pay for? Number 7, AWS funds the machine, and now the pieces begin to connect. AWS produces high-margin profits. Those profits generate free cash flow. That cash can help support investment in other parts of the company. Retail can focus on scale. Logistics can keep expanding. Technology can keep improving. Research and development can continue. Infrastructure can become larger and more efficient. So Amazon doesn't operate like a collection of completely independent businesses. It increasingly operates like an interconnected economic system. One engine can help fund another, and another engine creates more customers. Those customers attract more sellers. Those sellers generate more revenue. That revenue funds more infrastructure, and that infrastructure creates more competitive advantage. This is what a business flywheel looks like when it operates at massive scale. Number 8. Logistics becomes a competitive moat. Then Amazon took another step. It didn't just build an online marketplace. It built a massive physical logistics network. Warehouses, fulfillment centers, delivery infrastructure, aircraft, robotics, technology. In 2025, Amazon's delivery network surpassed the U.S. Postal Service to become the largest domestic parcel carrier in the United States. The company operates its own fleet of more than 100 aircraft. And here's the strategic twist. Even competitors can end up using Amazon's infrastructure. Independent brands pay Amazon for fulfillment and checkout services. So competitors can effectively generate revenue for the infrastructure of the company they compete against. Think about how powerful that is. Your competitor's growth can help finance your infrastructure. Your infrastructure makes your system stronger, and your stronger system makes it harder for your competitor to compete. That's no longer just a distribution advantage. That's a structural advantage. Number 9. When the flywheel becomes too powerful. But every powerful business model has another side. The larger the ecosystem becomes, the more questions regulators may ask about market power. Amazon has faced significant antitrust scrutiny. The FTC has alleged that Amazon illegally maintains monopoly power for practices in its online marketplace. Regulators have also raised concerns around pricing practices and subscription tactics. The broader strategic lesson is important. A flywheel can create extraordinary growth, but extraordinary scale can also create extraordinary scrutiny. The same mechanisms that create competitive advantage can eventually create regulatory risk. So business strategy is not only about asking, how do we grow faster? It is also about asking, what happens if our system becomes too powerful? Number 10. The real Amazon business model. So let's step back. What does Amazon actually sell? Products, cloud computing, advertising, fulfillment, subscriptions, logistics? Yes, but those are only individual components. The deeper business is the system connecting them together. Amazon is designed to reduce friction across commerce. One click, one platform, one customer relationship, one seller ecosystem, one fulfillment network. Every transaction creates data and capital. That data and capital can help improve the system. The improved system creates more transactions, and more transactions make the system even stronger. That is the machine. Number 11, the biggest business lesson. And this is the biggest lesson you can take from Amazon. The goal is not always to make every part of your business independently profitable as quickly as possible. Sometimes the real objective is to build a system where one part makes another part stronger. More customers create more demand. More demand attracts more partners. More partners create more value. More value creates a better customer experience. A better experience creates more customers. And the cycle continues. That's a flywheel. So when you look at your own business, don't just ask, what product should I sell? Ask, what system can I build where every part makes another part stronger? Because the most powerful business may not be the one with the best product. It may be the one with the best system. So here's the question. What is the flywheel inside your business? If you can't answer that yet, Maybe that's the next business problem you need to solve. Follow for more breakdowns on product concept, brand building, business models, and marketing strategy.